Good morning. Today is President's Day. It is a federal holiday celebrated on the third Monday in February. The story of President's Day date begins in the 1800s, following the death of George Washington in 1799. His February 22nd birthday became a perennial day of remembrance. Also, in February 15, in 1876, Texas citizens adopted their Constitution. The Constitution of the state of Texas is the document that establishes the structure and function of the government of the United States, state of Texas, and enumerate the basic rights of the citizens of Texas. The current document was adopted on February 15, 1876, and is the seventh Constitution in Texas history. In today's Monday Memories, we will be talking about the public schools in the county. We know that among the first projects that our early settlers undertook was the establishment of schools. You can read the full history and of the development of the public schools in Medina County from 1855 to 1928. That was written by W.N. Saroff. He was the superintendent from 1910 to 1937 in the book of The History of Medina County, Texas by the Castro Colonies Heritage Association Incorporated, and also written by Irene Saroff Marshall and Esther Saroff Turleson. In our previous Monday Memories episode about the history of Medina County, we learned about the brief history of the schools and school districts in the county. These are some of the pictures of the community districts or schools and teachers of the county between the 1896 to the early 1900s. The high school in 1896 to 1897, San Jeronimo School, 1898 to 1899, the Back Hill School, in 1926 to 1927, and in this building was the Lindenberg School, and it's now used as community center. And these are the early Medina County Teachers Institute led by the County Superintendent W.N. Saroff. We have it here, the 6th grade Hondo, 1920. The teacher was Miss Hilda Menick. Let's see if you recognize the pupils in the picture. We have John Henry Myers, Earl Ernest Lawrence Brooks, Joe Harvey Wilson, Lloyd Parson, Melton Swears, Terry Embry, Reinhardt Rudy, Raymond Menick, Howard Short, Tom Berry, Oscar Cruz Turner, Tom Cameron, Wesley Sadoff, Teresa Leibold, Francis Newman, Lizzie Swartz, Ada Crabtree, Lola Berry, Amelia Bentley, Roberta Hudspeth, Bessie Wheeler, Doris Faber, Lottie Holloway, Gladys Parsons, Ruth Callahan, Cecilia Gartuzer, and Bessie Mae Mass. It's a cool picture. We also have the photo of the grade school faculty in Hondo in the year 1905 to 1906. We have Anna Plock, Ruby Martin, Kate Bowman, Annie Duncan, and look at their hats. They are really pretty. They look cool. Then this was the laying of the cornerstone of Hondo High School in early 1900s. And then these are some fun memories of how our school started. Now, let's go into details. The first attempt of public school in Medina County was made in the village of Castroville by Charles de Montel, John Vance, and G.H. Noonan when they petitioned the Commissioner's Court for the use of the newly erected courthouse for school purposes. The petition was granted in 1855. Dimontel employed A. E. Briggs to teach the school for a period of 4 months. In 1856, the first public school of Quihie was opened with Professor Wild as the teacher for a term of 3 months. The total amount of apportionment to the schools in Medina County in 1856 was $434.70, but it was not all used for educational purposes. The balance was distributed among the schools the next year at the rate of 1.25 cents per child per day. In 1857, the state apportionment was not being used at that time because it was loaned out. In 1858, the court decreed the daily tuition per capita for indigent, orphaned, and widowed children should be at the rate of 4 cents per day. There were 7 teachers for that term. The county was redistricted in 1859. The same number of teachers were employed and terms were the same as the previous year. In 1861, having received rigid instructions from the State Department relative to certification of teachers, the court decreed no one would be permitted to teach in the public school in Medina County unless he had the proper credentials. From 1861 to 1867, the run for the schools was normal, and too many did not appreciate the advantages to be obtained from the free school system. In 1867, the police court, who previously named the Commissioner's Court, levied its first special local tax on the rate of 7.5 cents on all property. The money derived therefrom was to be applied for education of indigent white children in accordance with an act of the legislature of 1866. The funds prorated to the district were to be used by the local boards as they deemed proper for school matters, either for education or equipment. Again, by special act of legislature, the county was redistricted to conform to the commissioner's precincts. In 1867, a new board of examiners was appointed and new boards were named for the respective districts. In 1869, the parochial school at Casterville, under the supervision of Sister St. Andrews, filed a tabulated statement of indigent children in the school and was allowed $1 per month for pupil to be paid out of the county funds. The same year, the liberated slaves of the Hondo Creek opened their first school with William Reed as teacher. In May 30, 1871, a Special Education Act was passed that created a county board of school directors consisting of 5 members who had supervision over the schools and scholastics of the county. The first functioning board consisted of H. J. Richards, Roland Goring, John Vance, Bernhard Brooks, and Fritz Haas. Professor Carl Rouge was appointed the first principal or supervisor of the county. Miss Mary Howard was the first teacher who received her second grade certificate from the county supervisor of the 24th Judicial District. Members of the Board of Education were empowered to purchase school sites. J. McKean donated to the Quihie community 4 town lots for school purposes. These lots have never been used for a school, and they are now the property of the Lutheran Church of Quihie. In 1872, the board allowed $10 for rent for the schools at Quihie and New Fountain. The board further gave notice to patrons that the compulsory attendance law would be enforced to the letter requested parents to send their children to school. In 1873, New boards of trustees were appointed in their respective districts. It seems that from this time, the board took a greater interest in the school affairs, and the parents realized the importance of what the government was doing for their children. Schools were established and funds were raised. In 1875, the community school system was adopted. The 5 original districts remained intact, but in each district there were established community centers and schools were built. In 1876, there were 25 community schools. In 1880, the county commissioners took over school affairs. The county judge was ex officio superintendent of schools. In 1907, the county had sufficient scholastics to have a county superintendent. A.B. Brooks was appointed and at general election was re-elected for 2 more years. In 1910, W. N. Sadoff was elected and served until 1935. There were 3 independent school districts and 33 common districts. Divine, Dehanes, and Hondo were the 3 independent school districts in the county at that time. The common districts were 1-room, 1-teacher lumber buildings. The free textbook law went into operation and the curriculum of the schools were changed to give the children more work and a greater opportunity to acquire knowledge. Hondo School PTA was organized about 1909, the first in the county. PTAs were established in all districts. Medina County schools were among the first in the state to conduct county-wide 7th grade examinations and to conduct graduation exercises at the county seat in the Hondo High School auditorium. In 1934, the voters of the county chose C.F. Swears as county superintendent. By 1950, all of the common school district has been consolidated into 7 independent districts. We have Divine, Dehanes, Hondo, Natalia, Castroville, Lacoste, and Yancey. In 1960, Lacoste and Castroville combined to form the Medina Valley Independent School District. Divine District has its beginning in 1881 and it became an independent district in 1902. Vocational classes began as early as 1901. Athletics is prominent and physical education is stressed. There is a course in band and both Spanish and English are taught. The Hemis district was formed in 1909. Agriculture and homemaking are stressed. Special education classes are also included and there is a large athletic program. Hondo District was organized in 1883 and became an independent district in 1904. In 1909, a 6-room, 2-story building was erected and later on 3 more rooms in auditorium were added. Vocational education and band courses are offered. The district's athletic program include football, basketball, volleyball, baseball, track, tennis, and golf. Medina Valley, the newest district in the county, was formed in 1960 by combining Lacoste and Castroville districts. Vocational classes are offered in homemaking, agriculture, and auto mechanics. Special education is also offered in high school. The athletic program consists of football, basketball, volleyball, baseball, track, and tennis. The Natalia Independent School District was formed in 1912, consisting of elementary, junior, and senior high schools. The chief vocational departments are agriculture and mechanics. Band instruction offered in the junior high and senior high, and some choral music taught in the elementary grades. Athletics consist of football, basketball, baseball, and tennis. After Professor Swears retired in 1976, the office of County Superintendent of Public Instruction was discontinued, and the county judge again was declared to be the ex officio superintendent. Next week, we will be learning more about community schools in the county. And thank you all for watching.